Welcome everyone to episode 73 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed Al Houli. We're back with another banger with the man himself, Mr. Rick Glaser. Rick, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling a lot better than I did the last 2 weeks, so I'm almost back to normal.
You
I
ready
don't
to
know if
take on
that's
the world,
good.
mate?
I don't know if normal's good, but I'm back. I'm back.
You ready to take on the world?
I'm ready to tear off heads and shit necks.
We have a massive show right now coming up. We'll start with the huge card that was announced by Turki El Sheikh at Riyadh season on the 22nd of February. For the first time in a very long time, we're probably seeing all of boxing's promoters having fighters represent them on one show. Now, we never thought this would ever happen. This is quite the miracle. I'm going to bring it up on screen. But what a card and what a fight night this is going to be. What are your thoughts, mate?
It's not a bad fight amongst a bunch. Every fight's a headliner. It's amazing. Every fight should be a headliner on its own. If those were his own shows individually, every fight would be a headliner.
You got Boxer, Top Rank, Golden Boy, Queensberry, PBC, Matchroom. Who's left? They're literally all on there. What a show.
It looks like to be like a real banger, like they say over in the UK. It really looks like to be a great show, no question.
Unbelievable show. It's just so mind-boggling, though. I mean, it's taken all this time. It's taken Turki El Sheikh probably from the far, like not literally left, but from come out of nowhere, come to the sport, spend all this money, and then he's been able to bring everyone together. I mean, how good is that? I mean, many have doubted what this
I think it's unbelievable. I think it's fantastic. There's no negativity to this guy. He's doing everything he said he was going to do. He's also doing everything I said he was going to do. So it's even better.
Is this the start of something great for the sport? Are we finally getting past the
It's
politics?
already here. It's already it's already upon us. I mean, he's getting guys that the promoters together that you never thought would get Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. He's getting people together that would never work together, wouldn't work together. He's getting fighters in the ring that they couldn't afford to put on before, which is like Peterbiev and B-Ball. Now they're going to do a rematch. So,
Wow.
I mean, you can't beat it.
So is this the turn of the leaf? Are we moving on now to a whole new chapter? Is boxing now finally doing what it needs to do?
I think it's a start. I think it's a very strong start. And I think they've got to follow through with more execution, with more social media advertising, more mainstream advertising. And I think that we're onto something here going forward, making it more of a worldwide sport than it ever has been in the past.
Imagine this card was in the US or the UK. Do you think you would have had a better chance of attracting more, or this is what the Saudis are trying to do?
I don't think that's what the Saudis are trying to do. I think they're trying to establish a pay-per-view base to pay and sponsorships to pay for these fights. And I think some cards deserve to be in the UK, some deserve them to be in the US, but especially in the UK. I mean, Dubois and Joshua just did 95,000 people. So there's your answer right there. Some cards shouldn't be over there in Riyadh, some are, but I think they're more trying to establish a pay-per-view base to pay for the fights. I think dropping the prices down to $20 and $25 for pay-per-view that was $80. I think that's why I'm basing part of my my thoughts on right there is that's what you're trying to do. They're trying to get more people to watch. Less money, but they're trying to get 10 times as many people to watch by cutting the price basically in the third, in third, 33% of what it was before.
So pretty much building a larger database to then cross promote and resell to.
Yes.
In future events. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they've pulled it off.
I also think they can be in the data mining business too, which is big. and I think they're going to be in data mining too, because I think they're going to get so many subscriptions so many pay-per-view buys and subscriptions on the zone and whatever that they're going to be involved with. I'm sure they're using that as data mining to attract more people and to sell those email addresses and phone numbers and all your information. So it's natural. That's what business is about. I don't blame them.
I mean, data is the new oil. I mean, it has been for the last 10 years or so.
Right.
And it's
Exactly.
probably the most valuable commodity on earth if we're looking at how the way the world is going and functioning with AI. AI needs a
Mhm.
lot of data. It needs that data to get smarter and smarter and produce better. And
Mhm.
honestly, what Riyadh Season and Turki El Sheikh are doing here with these sorts of cards at a very robust price, internationally televised on the zone, I believe. I mean, what's left? I mean, they're definitely heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I believe they are. Now, did I surprise you knowing about data mining?
You did actually, to be honest with you, you did.
Thank you.
You took me back a
Thank
bit.
you.
So, all right, we'll keep going. One of the fights on there is Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov. Um,
Well, that's the only fight with a like a I don't know what you'd call
an asterisk.
an asterisk, right?
All right.
Madrov's got to
Before
get by. Madrov's got to get by.
before we get
Um,
to Madrimov,
right.
let's go. I'm gonna put up a tweet here that you put up. He's the latest. Floyd Schofield Jr. has balls. Xander Zayes has balls. Ismail Madrimov has balls. Boot Ennis has no balls. That's boxing. How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, he said he would fight Boots, and all of a sudden he ducked. I mean, Boots says he'd fight
Ortiz.
Virgil Ortiz on the show on the February 22nd, and all of a sudden, well, he thought the weight was 47, was 54. Ortiz hasn't been that weight in 2 years. He's had 3 fights already at 54. It's ridiculous.
Did he
It's just
really
a way
think
to
that?
it's a way to get out of the fight. That's
Yeah.
all there is
I
to
was
it.
about to say to you, come on out. Come on. I mean,
Well, first
surely
of all, he said
he
he
knows
didn't know
what
nothing.
weight.
First of all, he said he didn't know nothing about the fight. Then he changed his tune and said, "Oh, well, I thought it was 47." That's all bullshit. They had second thoughts. What they thought was, this is what they really thought. What they really thought, they thought they were going to get like 10 million for the fight, and was only 2 or 2.5 million. They go, "Oh shit!" Oh my god!
It's not worth the risk.
No,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Ennis is turning out not to be the boogeyman after all. I mean,
Well,
he's
I never thought he was.
he's flip flopping around the lotteries in recent times.
I always said he was a talented fighter, but there was flaws there. They would never put him in with anybody. The breathing guy, who's he ever fought? He won a vacant title that was an intern title. When Crawford moved up, they turned it into a full title. He's never fought an A fighter.
For so long, they said Crawford was afraid to fight him. It's like, what the?
Oh, stop, please! Crawford's afraid of nobody. He'd take on an
100%.
alligator if it was 20 million.
There you go. All right, we'll keep going. Big Baby Miller versus
But by
Derek.
the way, that's a
Yeah,
compliment to Crawford. It's
for
not an
sure,
insult.
for sure, for sure. Big Baby Miller versus Derek Chisora's off. Baby Miller went on a scathing attack on Salita Promotions, and now Chisora is fighting Wallen instead. What's the story there? Why did this fight fall through? I thought
Well,
that would have been an awesome fight.
Frank Warren got Salita doesn't have a contract anymore. It's gone. He's got an option in there to right of freeze refusal for his next fight, and he says he could match it. He could, where's he going to match it? And Frank was, they sent legal letters to Frank, and Frank bailed because he's probably paying Miller 4 times as what he can pay Wallin. Because
Yeah.
Miller's a much bigger name and a better fight and better style. Don't forget, Wallin's left-handed. Nobody knows him. Nobody cares to know him. He's blasé.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably getting him for a song and a dance compared
Why not?
to Miller. So Frank took the easy way out, and I don't blame Frank for that. It's not an insult to Frank. It's business.
I mean,
But
it's
he
only an
found an
entertaining
opportunity
fight.
to get out of that
Yeah.
other situation, and he did. That's all there was
Yeah.
to it.
Chisora is going to sell always in London, I believe. Probably
Yeah,
at the O2. He's always going to
especially saying
sell.
it's his farewell fight.
Yeah, exactly. Which I find that hard to believe, by the way, because
I don't think
he's
he's
had a
got a
few of them.
farewell fight.
Yeah, probably going to pick him up in the ambulance. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great fight to watch. Definitely entertaining. We'll move on. Eubank Jr. to face Lara. According to Ben Shalom, Chris Eubank Jr. could face WBA 160 champion Erislandy Lara if the fight with Conor Benn does not happen. What happened to talks of fighting Canelo?
Who's fighting Canelo? Chris Eubank?
Yeah, apparently he was meant to fight in the UK.
I don't know. I guess they probably couldn't get Canelo over there. Probably.
And what's that leave now? I mean, Canelo probably got one option left now who he can really fight for that guaranteed $35 million that he requests. That's Crawford with the Saudi.
Well, he'll get a lot more than 35 million, but everybody else will get less.
Yeah, but that's like his guarantee. That's like it's almost like Pacquiao's 20 million that he always asked for.
Right.
I mean, are we finally going to see it?
I don't know. Crawford's waiting. I know that. And I don't blame him. If I was Crawford, I'd want to fight him too. Not only because of the money, but because of the fact
legacy.
That not only legacy, but also because he's got a great shot to win. He's got the style to beat him.
Absolutely. I definitely got faith in Bud Crawford. Anyway, you put.
Don't worry about one thing. Crawford ain't going to do it with Jamal Charlo. Jamel
he's there to fight. He's there to
fight. Correct.
Always. And moving on, some shocking news. Pac-Man comeback. What's going on? Manny Pacquiao is coming back for another fight against Mario Barrios for the WBC Welterweight Championship, I believe. Is that something, or just
I don't know.
Tabloids?
I don't know. I keep laughing about that fight. I don't know. I don't know if they exist. I don't know where the money would come from.
Who's paying the Pacquiao tax?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this. All I know is that it just seems the guy's almost 50 years old. I mean, come on. Was he 46, 47 years old?
Could he beat Barrios?
No. Can't beat anybody at this point.
Wow. Interesting. Big fight on the weekend. Edwards and Yafai. Some really interesting words came out in the corner from Sonny Edwards saying he doesn't want to be here. I mean, what's going on? What's pushed him?
Well, he realized he didn't have his legs probably in sparring, and he went through with the fight, and he didn't want to be there. That's all there was to it. He just didn't have it anymore. He knew it.
Father time?
What's that?
Father time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he's only 28. I think he took a lot of abuse in the Bam Rodriguez fight, and that took a lot out of him. It took his leg. Probably his legs are shot. He didn't have the balance he did. He didn't have this physical strength because he couldn't push off with his upper body because he didn't have the legs to do it.
Absolutely.
Remember, the legs are your foundation. Your legs go, everything goes. You don't have the punching power anymore. There's everything. You don't have the punch resistance anymore. Your legs are everything.
Unbelievable. All right. I have some questions for you from the fans actually this week. That's why I sort of stuck to my set of direct questions. We have some questions that have come through, and I'm going to shoot them at you. And people want to know more, so get ready to shed some wisdom on us, Rick. Do you believe Australia has a big enough market for boxing? If so, why haven't the two top major promoters, Top Rank and Golden Boy, haven't tried to sign more Aussies or promote in Australia?
Because basically it's the time difference, and their main outlet ESPN is geared to the United States time zone. So if they were to go over there and do fights, it'd be very, very, very difficult. With the time zone, you'd lose your big ratings over here, and that's their base. So that's part of the problem.
So is the market big enough? Let's start there.
Yeah, I think it's big enough. I mean, Danny Green did mega numbers. Um,
Tim Zoo apparently
trying
did as well.
Tim Zhu did big numbers. Danny Green did big numbers. Jeff Fennick's done big numbers. A whole bunch of fighters over there's done big numbers. So the market is there for Aussies. I mean, let's go back to Lionel Rose. That was 50 years ago. They all did big numbers.
So the market's there. The only thing letting us down is the time difference, basically.
Yeah,
That's why.
basically, yeah, yeah. Because you're talking about the primary markets of those countries, which is ESPN with what he calls it is the U.S. So they
So
want stuff on prime time over here.
we have an ESPN here too, but there's barely any boxing on it. It's more the Foxtels and the main events
Right,
and so on. Yeah.
right, right.
So there is a bit of a difference. The next one that comes in is, based on your opinion, are Bruce Trampler and Brad Goodman the best matchmakers in today's boxing world?
I would say they are just based on credentials. Well, both are in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Bruce has been a matchmaker since he was a kid. Brad's been a matchmaker since he's been a kid. And Bruce is about 75 now, and Brad's about 57. So I would say yes.
And who would you say would come after them in terms of pecking order?
Nobody. They're in a league by themselves.
Wow, it's a big statement. No one that catches your eye on the rise?
Not really. It's a dying art. These guys today, they think they're matchmakers. They don't know shit.
So what are all these other guys doing? Are they just...
I mean, they throw matches together, but there's not a lot of thought. They just go by path of least resistance. Most of them are doing medicals, and they just got too much going on, and they can't concentrate. And a guy like Brad can concentrate on just making matches because somebody else is doing the medicals, somebody else is doing the contracts. He's got a whole staff there, so he can concentrate. These other guys are doing medicals, and they're doing the contracts, and it's very, very difficult.
There you go. That answers your question. I thought you were going to give my good friend a big shout out, Chris Glover, but sorry, Chris.
Well, Chris is up and coming, but you're talking about comparing. Chris is a Chevy right now. Those guys are Rolls Royces.
That's why I said, are there any up and comers for us to look out for?
Yeah, Chris and his partner Daniel Rubin are very good. Tico Zabala's kid Clovis is very good. He's like 27 years old. He's very good too. But it's a long way to Bruce and Brad. I mean, a long way. I mean, no offense to Chris, to Clovis and Daniel, but they never get anywhere near those guys.
Wow, there you go. All right, Chris, make sure you
even though they're talented. Well, they're talented. It's not a put down.
There you go. Moving on. Another question: why aren't African American boxers usually big sellers on pay-per-view or gate?
I can't hear the question.
Why aren't African American boxers usually big sellers on pay-per-view when it comes to pay-per-view?
Well, historically they have been. Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson, Holyfield. They have been. It's this recent era they have not been.
Why?
I don't know. It's a $1 million question. Maybe $100 million question with no answer. I mean, I don't know if there's an answer. I think part of it is because of the fact that I think that they don't support their own like they used to. I think they support the sport to a certain extent, but they're not. They'll cheer for their own, but they necessarily won't put their money up.
So is Tank Davis the biggest star in boxing after Canelo?
His pay-per-view numbers don't show it.
Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis? Who's got a big?
I think Ryan Garcia is bigger. Put it this way to you: more people know Ryan Garcia and ask me about Ryan Garcia than they do Tank Davis.
I think I agree with you
Non-boxing fans. I'm talking about non-boxing fans.
for sure.
People, yeah, people will say, "Oh, do you know Ryan Garcia?" You know, he's a social media star. Javante Davis is not a social media star.
He's definitely part of the current culture and that mix.
Right.
Yeah. Um, one more. Why do Top Rank and Golden Boy mostly sign Mexican and Puerto Rican fighters?
Because of the fact that they're located in areas that they're the Mexican fans. So you get California, they do shows in Vegas, and same with Top Rank and Arizona and all those places. That's where Mexicans live, and they sign Puerto Rican fighters because they're very popular in Puerto Rico, in the mainland. So you get fighters that get a lot of ratings in Puerto Rico that are because they're Puerto Rican. So on TV, so that's why it makes sense.
Wow. There you go. What are your thoughts on the Usyk versus Fury new promo? Apparently, that's breaking records around the world. Did you get to see it?
No, I have not. I've been sick the last one. I've been just barely doing my work because I'm on these antibiotics. They make me tired all the time. So I've just been getting my work done and going to sleep. I haven't been doing any extracurricular, paying attention to videos and promos and all that.
And
Normally I do.
lastly, Liam Parrow's defending his world title in Puerto Rico this weekend.
It's a good fight. Him and Richardson Hutchins is a very, very, very good fight.
Which way are you going?
I can see Hutchinson winning that fight just on the jab and the foot movement alone. I can see him winning.
There you go.
I'm not saying he will, but I can see him. I can see him winning.
There you go. All right. We wish Liam all the best. Hopefully he gets through and defends his title and comes back and has a big fight here in Australia somewhere. It would be great for him and great for the Australian boxing scene too. That's all from me, Ricky. You got anything else for us before we wrap things up?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I look forward to these Mondays with you, and it's always good. So we always have good dialogue, and you ask great questions, and I'm happy to be here.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rick Glaser, thank you very much for joining me on Raw Sport. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in and sent in those questions.